tricky openings to this lap. We've maintained that P11, and Albon has jumped Butler behind. We're going to have a look down the inside of Ricardo. Oh, we're getting contact. What's going on, guys? My name's Martinio and welcome back to Formula 1 2019 Season 1 Round 3 of my Career Mode series. And apologies, it's been a little while since the last episode. I've been a little bit busy, and also if you follow me on Twitter or Facebook, you'll know that the heat has made sleeping really difficult in the UK, so I've just been tired and not been able to get any recording done for the most part. But we're back now, which is good. And last time out, we were in Bahrain, and we, like in Australia, got another disappointing 12th place finish, and we were so close to getting points on the board. We had a DRS failure at the absolute worst time possible, and that pretty much ended any hopes of us getting in the points, though we went really close. So disappointing, but the race pace is definitely there in the car, so hopefully we can push on and get some points here in China. And historically, I've always gone well in China. I do like the circuit. It's a tricky one, especially through turns 1 and 2 as well. It's sort of uphill and off camber and really puts a lot of strain through the tyres, and it's very easy to get it wrong. So we're going to have to watch out for that throughout the weekend. However, if we are going to get points this weekend, it is not going to be because of upgrades, because me, being the idiot I am, after I finished recording the Bahrain episode, I turned, logged out, did everything I need to, switched off the PlayStation. When I came back, I was still in the sort of the post-race lobby for Bahrain, and I clicked OK, and we moved on to China. But it didn't save any of the upgrades I made, so we're not going to have any upgrades for China. The first upgrade, which is to the central floor under tray, I think it's a weight reduction, that is going to be coming in Baku, so round 4, and then we'll have our, I think it's our front and rear wing upgrades coming for Barcelona there. So again, a little bit disappointing, but there we go. We're just going to have to make do with what we've got today. And in terms of the weather, it's going to be, bit cloudy and overcast through qualifying, but mostly dry, and then it's going to be sunny throughout the race as well, so no chance of bad weather affecting today's running. So yeah, so what we're going to do now, though, as we always do, is we are going to head down to track, and we're going to see how we got on in practice. So, on to practice, and honestly it was a little bit more tricky than I anticipated it would be. Like I said, I do like the Chinese circuit, and historically in previous F1 games I've gone very, very well around here, but I found it a little bit tricky to find the groove and find the right balance in terms of setup. Turns 1 and 2 especially, because they are quite quick and they're off camber, you've really got to be absolutely on it. If you run a little bit wide, you're just going to get dragged further out, and you're just going to completely ruin your run through turn 3, that downhill turn 3, and onto that sort of flat out section down through turns 4 and 5. So that was a little bit of a concern, but I think I just about dialed it out. In terms of the practice programs itself, the only ones we struggled with was track acclimatization, oddly enough, and the fuel management sim. So it might be an idea in the race just to put a little bit of extra fuel in, so we're not having to manage it, and come down into to sort of lower engine modes, which could potentially scupper chances of getting ourselves into the mix for some points there. But there we go. But we did get a nice haul of resource points, and like I said, we'll get some more through qualifying in the race, and we'll be putting those to good use, along with whatever we get in throughout the Baku and the Spanish Grand Prix weekends. Hopefully we'll have some nice new upgrades, quite a few of them, in time for places like Canada and France as well. But yeah, and our best practice performance came in FP2. We got 4th place, but the concerning thing there, Alex Albon in the Toro Rosso, about 4 or 5 tenths of a second faster on what I think is a comparable setup in terms. I think he would have been doing, given he's on the soft compound tyres for this weekend, doing his quali sim. So that could be a little bit of a concern. But in saying that, it might be advantageous to go out in Q2. It might open up a few more options, and I don't know, give us a better opportunity of getting to the points in terms of strategy, potentially. It's hard to say without seeing the strategy options that are open, but it's something to think about definitely going forward, but there we go. So what we're going to do now though is we are going to head back down to the track and we're going to see how we got on in qualifying. So on to qualifying, and I was fairly confident I could get myself out of Q1 and potentially into Q2 and into the mix for Q3. And our first run was okay. I made a couple of errors here and there, especially through turns 1 and 2. I didn't get them exactly right, and we finished with a 1:36.192 there, which was looking fairly okay, but by the time we got sort of the last 5 minutes of Q1, it was kind of apparent that I would have to go out again, considering we're only a tenth of a second off the Q1 drop zone. So bolted another set of soft tyres on, went out for another run, and our second run was a lot better, much better. Absolutely nailed the lap, probably my best single lap of the weekend, and we came up with a 1:35.488, which was a full 7/10 of a second faster than our first run, and that left us in P8 come the end of qualifying, and so we move into Q2 once again. 3 straight races. We've moved ourselves out of Q1 and into Q2, which is good. However, our teammate Kimi Raikkonen once again went out in Q1. So I don't know what's going on with Kimi at the minute. We are currently leading that intra-team rivalry. So I think if this sort of trend continues by the end of the Spanish Grand Prix, we could be the #1 driver at Alfa Romeo. So that could open up some interesting options and give us sort of the first refusal with regards to upgrades going forward. So that could be something to look forward to. But moving on to Q2. And considering I had to use 2 sets of the soft tyres through Q1, I did leave it. I decided I was going to do a one-shot qualifying. I left it till the very last moment and went out for my quali run. And it wasn't as good as my second run in Q1. We only managed a 1:35.5 there, so I think it was 5:64. So we were about just under a tenth of a second off our previous best. And unfortunately, that was the end of our qualifying, because we finished P11 come the end of it. And I mean, looking at the times, I think you could say Q2 or P11 was the best we could have hoped for, considering we were a good 3/10 of a second off the likes of Magnussen and Perez by the end of Q2. But like I said, finishing in Q2 could open up some very interesting options for the race in terms of strategy. Going forward, it might make things a little bit easier and, like I said, open up some interesting options. So it's not the end of the world. I would have liked to go into Q3 as you always do, but, you know, it's not the end. Like I said, it's not the end of the world. This isn't a circuit that's difficult to overtake on. There are quite a few places where you can put moves on. So, like I said, we've got a good opportunity going into the race, and we're sort of in an optimal position. P11, free tyre choice for the race. So that's going to be pretty good going forward as well. So, yeah. So what we're going to do now, though, is I think we're just about ready to go. So we're starting P11. We are going to head down to the track. We're going to see what strategy options we've got. And we're going to get the Chinese Grand Prix underway. So let's head down there now.
It's time to find out which driver is up to the task of claiming the Chinese Grand Prix. We're here in Shanghai.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Okay then, guys, so here we are on the grid in Shanghai, just ahead of the start of the race, and you know, P11, it's not all bad. Obviously we've got that free tyre choice, which may make things easier, and depending on what the guys ahead do, then they may be forced into 2 stoppers where we can go on a 1 stop. But in terms of the strategy, we're going to stick with the 1 stop strategy. Now, it's not set in stone. If we get a safety car or a virtual safety car at the right time, then maybe I'd be tempted to switch to a 2-stopper, because I believe we do have a set of brand new soft tyres. But right now we're going to go for the mediums onto the hards, and we're going to be stopping at the end of lap number 13 there. And you know, like I said, it's going to be a tricky race, but I've generally in other F1 games I've gone well around China. It's where I've teamed to, you know, get my first really good results of the season, so hopefully it's the same for this one as well. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting race. We've got Devon Butler just behind, and he's got sort of the inside line, but we've got what I think at this point, or this particular section of the course, would be the clean side of the racetrack. So the start's going to be interesting, and it's going to be an interesting and a tough race, and hopefully, despite the fact we didn't get our updates for this race, hopefully we can get some points on the board and start having a bit of forward motion. But yeah, so I'm going to go and do our formation lap and get everything all warmed up and nice and toasty and ready to go. And I'll be back when we're ready to go racing. And we're away. Ugh, tricky openings to this lap. We've maintained that P11, and Albon has jumped Butler behind. We're going to have a look down the inside of Ricardo. Oh, we're getting contact. It was Danny Ricciardo. Oh. Oh, dirty already. And get a poor exit off of there. We've got Ricardo right up our chuff. Don't know which side he's looking. And that's lap 1 and we're up to P10. Oh, now Magnussen isn't getting the DRS, so we might be able to go down into turn 1. Oh, you're brave. This is good at the minute. He's having to work his tyres a little bit extra. Tyres that I've already had a decent amount of load through them in Q2. And Perez has jumped Hulkenberg. Oh, now we definitely should be able to have a run. Yeah, we're definitely going to have a go this time. Ran a bit wide through the last corner. And now we can hopefully get ourselves into this battle for 7th. Oh, I wasn't expecting it that early, but I'll take it. I don't know if we were in the DRS zone. Oh, we were just about. So that's going to hopefully help us get a little bit closer and maybe have a go into turn 1. Oh, Perez is in the pits. We've got a few more laps to go. So now we've got some free air. Let's try and put some quick laps in. And see where we are when the pit stop shakeout. So, boxing this lap. It's not been a great in lap, but it's not been the worst. Perfect entry. Absolutely on the button. Right then, so hopefully, because we had a decent gap, we can get in. Oh, 2.7, not a great stop. Not a great stop, but...
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
And we've come out behind Russell, but crucially ahead of Magnussen. So now we just got to settle down. Be good on these tyres. And we can hopefully get some points out of this. Right then, now we should be getting DRS. Yep, and we are just dragging up to the back of Mr. Russell.
Kimmy is in for his stop.
Right then, and with Magnussen behind on the medium tyre, I think that means he's got another pit stop to make, so we could be in for a decent haul of points here if we play our cards right and don't make any mistakes. Oh, we got a nice gap to Magnussen. Whether it's enough to keep him out of DRS range, I don't think so, because he is putting up to the back of us a bit. Oh, Magnussen's ducked into the pit, so he did have another pit stop to make. Now we've got to contend with is Butler behind on a hard set of tyres, and we've had the measure of him all afternoon, so we could be about to get our first points of the season, boys and girls. Now we've got a Red Bull right up our chuff. Yeah, there's no point fighting him, he's pulled up to the back of that. In about 2 laps, close up about, what, 2.5 seconds, maybe more. And he's on a faster compounded tyre right now. So, the gap behind is
Gap to teammate behind is 19.0
about
seconds.
4 seconds. So we are in very good shape right now. For a P7 finish with about 8 laps to go.
Yellow flag.
So we've got yellow flags out for some reason. I don't quite know what it was for. Oh, and Pierre Gasly's blowing up, so God, we run a bit wide though. So we're now up to P6. Did lose a bit of time though through that final corner, which means Butler's going to be a bit closer. .6 is the gap now. Yeah, Butler's about 3.1 seconds back. Haven't been able to reassert that 4-second gap. After we got a little bit distracted by Pierre Gasly's engine blowing up, but we did just set a personal best first sector and then run wide. So we're doing good though. Still a little ways to go. And I've still got a little bit of extra fuel I can throw into the mix and turn the engine up if things start to get a little bit hairy with Butley behind, but right now it's just about bringing the car home and getting those points. What's the gap now? 2.2. The personal best first sector. God, the rear of the car went very light there. Hamilton wins it. And I think we're okay. Just had to get through there without him being in the DRS zone, and we were okay. Plus we've done personal best through the middle sector as well, and should hopefully be doing the same through the final one. So we started P11, we had a really good strategy. And now we're going to come across the line to back 6th. Yes! Come on! So there you have it then, guys. An absolutely unreal 6th place finish in China. And overall, it was a really good race. Sort of a lonely one at times for the most part. Once we got past Perez at the end of lap 6 or 7 when he ducked in for his pit stop, we didn't really have anyone to contend with, really. We had a brief encounter with Max Verstappen, but we were never really racing him. So, like I said, it was a little bit of a lonely race. Devon Butler was, you know, he kept us honest, but he never really got close enough to make any kind of move there. And like I said, it was fairly straightforward as well. I was expecting tyre wear to be a bit more of an issue around here, but this car just seems to be really good in terms of tyre wear in race trim. So that's good. Definitely going forward. If we make some more upgrades to the car, then hopefully that should just get better and better and better. But yeah, like I said, overall really good race. Fairly straightforward. I expected a little bit more of a fight to get our first points of the season, but you know, wasn't to be. And you know, great 6th place finish there and a good haul of points to kick things off. In terms of the rest of the finishing order, and Lewis Hamilton wins from pole position ahead of Charles Leclerc and Valtteri Bottas. Sebastian Vettel jumps up to 4th place after a disappointing qualifying. He's followed home by Max Verstappen, ourselves, and Devon Butler. Lando Norris gets up to P8 after starting P15, so he was the big mover today, and he was followed home by Nico Hulkenberg and Carlos Sainz, rounding out the point scoring finishes there as well. For our teammate though, he started 16th and he finished 16th, so it started badly and it ended badly, really. He just didn't really have the pace, and I'm not quite sure what's going on with Kimi at the moment. Maybe he gets quicker with when the updates get applied to the car. I imagine with him being the first driver, while we'll be getting the under tray upgrade for Baku, I think he might get all three, including the front and the rear wing upgrades, so that could potentially see an improved performance from Kimi there. And even Danny Ricciardo, he started ahead of us and he finished way down in 15th place there, so that two-stop strategy really didn't help him at all. But in terms of the championship standings, and we move ourselves up into what is 9th position now with those 8 points, and yeah, we can definitely get ourselves around Sergio Perez. He is a little bit further ahead of us, but we're definitely in it now, I think, moving on through the rest of the season. At the top of the table, Lewis Hamilton extends his championship lead to 7 points ahead of Charles Leclerc, and Sebastian Vettel currently sits in P3 there after that disappointing P4 finish today. In terms of the Constructors' Championship, we move up to 6th place there, so again, we're getting right in the thick of that midfield battle, which is where we want to be, and hopefully by the end of the season, all things going well, we can get ourselves up into 4th as that best of the rest team there. But yeah, so that's pretty much the end of today's episode, guys. Next time out, like I said, we are heading to Baku. I'm really looking forward to that because it always seems to throw up really interesting races, and I am a big fan of that racetrack there, so it should be an interesting race, especially given we've got upgrades coming as well, so really looking forward to that. But that's pretty much the end of today's episode, guys, so thank you everybody so much for watching. If you did enjoy this, you would like to see more Formula 1 2019 or sim racing content from myself, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe, and if you do subscribe, be sure to hit that bell notification button so you get updates for all of my new videos whenever they go live. And also drop a comment down below, guys. Where did you get your first point scoring finish of the season? Was it China? Was it Bahrain? Did you have a blinder in the opening race of the season? And what position did you finish when you got those first points on the board? Drop a comment down below, guys. It's always awesome to hear from you. But once again, thank everybody so much for watching. Stay cool, and as always, I will catch you in the next video. Peace.